Do you know Canada is the world's third largest producer and exporter of natural gas? We simply define that natural gas is the gas that is found under the ground or the sea and that is used as a fuel. But nowadays, it is used for many of our day-to-day needs and daily activities in our life. For example, we use it at home for cooking, heating, and generating electricity because it is really safe, clean, and useful. It is actually one of alternative energies such as hydrogen energy, solar energy, or tidal energy. Therefore, for us, the natural gas means more than a newly developed energy itself, but an essential energy resource for our future generation. Basically, the natural gas is a combustible mixture of hydrocarbon gases such as methane, propane, ethane, and butane. And especially, as you see, methane takes around 70% to 90% of the overall composition. It means methane is used most widely as the natural gas. But how are the natural gas formed? In fact, it is produced like a fossil. First of all, dead bodies of animals or plants that are sunk to the bottom of an ocean or a sea layer for millions of years. Then, after they are buried deeper and deeper, the amount of pressure and heat determine which one will be the oil and which one will be the natural gas. Finally, the oil and gas tend to move or stay until they are completely formed and found by discovery or extraction. By the way, don't you wonder how we realize an existence of natural gas? Since a long time ago, the natural gas had been showing their existence. For example, the fire coming from the underground or jacked up the eruptive volcano could be an example of natural gas. But by 1785, the natural gas was finally used commercially in Britain. At the time, there was an industrial revolution in Europe and many factories used coal for operations. And the natural gas was produced from coal that was used to light houses or for street lights. And nowadays, we're using it as one of alternative energies for the environment. However, how do we know and how do we find where the natural gas is? In fact, because natural gas is a fossil fuel, for drilling, the petroleum engineer has to collect the clues that show a possibility of promising natural gas areas. Generally, there are three ways to survey. These are geological survey, seismic survey, and the way of using magnetometers or gravimeters. Firstly, for the geological survey, geologists examine the surface structure of Earth. Then they gain information from digging the ground or cutting rocks or making water walls. But though it seems very straightforward, it is not the most precise way. So the geologists and the petroleum engineers usually use the knowledge in seismology with using seismograph and placing it in geophone. Because each different layer shows different vibrations of the earth and shore, offshore, and seismic waves. They examine where the oil or natural gas are possibly buried. Moreover, they also use the magnetometers and gravimeters to gain a better understanding of what is underground, because both the measurers can examine the difference of variances of the earth like using the seismograph and geophone. Then finally, as they all prepare for the extraction, they start drilling. There are 6 major drilling rigs we are using in these days, such as land-based drilling rigs, ceiling hole drilling rigs, coil tubing drilling rigs, jack-up drilling rigs, semi-submersible rigs, and drill ship. But to obtain gas is also important. These are 3 major types of pipeline systems, which are the gathering system at first, then the interstate pipeline system at second, and the distribution system at last. But in each step, it requires an extremely elaborate and extensive way to transport all the system. First of all, the gathering pipelines carry the raw material and natural gas from the wellhead to the processing plants in order to let the interstate pipelines be provided gas. Usually, the gathering pipelines are long and have small diameters than other pipelines, but they all designed very precisely and safely. Then, interstate pipelines receive the gas from the plant and provide the gas to various regions, especially large and populated urban areas, because a lot of people live in cities and they demand for the natural gas as the fuel. However, before the distribution, we use the transmission pipelines to transport much faster and easier. And these pipelines help controlling the amount of gas that are providing through all kinds of pipelines with valves. Also, the compressor stations squeeze the gas to reduce its volume, and metering stations help the pipeline companies to monitor every current status of the gas. And these all processes are controlled by the SCADA systems that supervise whole staff. Also, the storage is very important as well. There are three most widely used ways for storage. The first one is a depleted gas reservoir. The reservoir is created underground, and it stores a huge amount of the natural gas inside. And in 1915, Canada became the first country that successfully stored the natural gas in Welland County, Ontario. But its porosity may cause an environmental problem, so a lot of companies try to find another way that would increase its storage capacity, causing no environmental problem. And another way is aquifer. The aquifer is a layer of rock or soil that can absorb and hold water, and is reconditioned as the natural gas storage facility. And the last one is salt caverns. The salt caverns are formed underground, and its wall inside can keep the natural gas because the wall is impermeable. But it is the rarest option for the storage, and we don't use this method a lot. The final step is the distribution of natural gas. Usually, the gas is delivered directly to customers, but sometimes the customers receive the gas from their local gas utilities. And these utilities are called Local Distribution Company, which is called LDC. And the gas is delivered moving through the pipelines, mostly passing by the distribution compressor center that goes through the residential pipelines. In addition, we need to check the condition of the pipeline periodically, such as checking whether the gas is leaking or not. Thus, as you see, we're using the natural gas in many ways in our life. Although the way of using the gas seems simple, the actual way to go through every process until we receive the gas at home takes a lot of steps. So although we have simply lived through all the steps dividing into 5 main parts, which are the discovery, recovery, transportation, storage, and distribution, we would have to be aware that the natural gas takes a really important role in our society. And with conclusion, I have a very simple question for you guys. The question is, which one would be an example or examples of using the natural gas in daily situation? A. When you use a grill to have a barbecue. B. When you store some food in your refrigerator. C. When you use a boiler system at home to heat during the winter. Which one do you think the answer is? Hopefully you already find the answer, and thank you for listening.